Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't had an opportunity to watch Game of Thrones Oathkeeper, stop listening now. Major spoilers, here we go. This is by far, man, my favorite episode of Game of Thrones. First off, let me just say, like I told you, these podcasts are going to be focused around my characters, the ones that I like, and that is Lady Sansa, Khaleesi, Hodor, Bran, sometimes Jon Snow, Sam, stuff like that. That's where the focus is going to be on. And tonight's episode was absolutely perfect, man. Let's start it off, okay? First off, let me talk about Grey Worm. Grey Worm, he reads, man. He's learning how to read. He's starting to have I guess you could say, a relationship, man, with Missandei. And it's pretty cool, man. We found out that Grey Worm is from Summer Isles, and they have a connection, man. Him and Missandei, and it's kind of cool, man, that Khaleesi's actually letting freedom, I guess, to love and express love inside of that the Unsullied. Okay, this is kind of cool, man. One of the greatest, I guess, quotes, man, from Grey Worm was, "A single day of freedom is worth more than a lifetime in chains." And then you have this moment where Khaleesi comes up. She says, okay, you'll have time for that a little bit later, but for right now, I need you to go into the city and free these people. And the way that you free them is by, providing them with some weapons, providing them with a purpose, and the purpose is to kill the masters, okay? And they go around and they're painting "kill the masters" on the walls with blood, the blood of their masters, their former masters. They're no longer slaves, they're freed. And the reason why is because the Mother of Dragons, which is now known as the Breaker of Chains. This is what I'm talking about. It's elevation, man, for Khaleesi, man. This is absolutely brilliant. I think it's the best. It's the best episode of Game of Thrones. I can't say it better than that. I mean, obviously we know that, the King Joffrey episode, the Red Wedding, stuff like that. I guess you can call it the Purple Wedding with King Joffrey, and the Red Wedding where they murked the Starks and stuff like that. That was kind of crazy. I mean, obviously we cried for that. When Ned Stark died, we cried for that. But this one was just kind of cool because it kind of shows that going forward from here on out, it's going to be a battle, man. Like, Khaleesi's power now extends into other realms, man. They had this beautiful cinematic piece where you were able to see Khaleesi standing in this tower. And this tower looks out across the land. It's like, I'd say like 200 feet in the air, something ridiculous like that. It's very, very high. She's standing on there, and you just see like this little smirk and this glimmer of hope in her eye, man, that everything's gonna go good. But also what's kind of crazy is in the background there's these storm clouds. So there's a storm ahead. Tonight we still didn't see any dragons. Maybe the dragons were off hunting still, or obviously because the cost of CGI, they're not going to bring any of that stuff. But we do know that Khaleesi is still getting power, man. The Unsullied are definitely operating inside of like a mini army, man, and that is working to her advantage. Now check this out, man. Last week I was talking about this old guy, man, that's inside of Khaleesi's inner circle. That old guy is Barristan, and Barristan says to Khaleesi, he says sometimes it's better to use mercy instead of violence. And Khaleesi says something to the fact about, I'll answer injustice with justice, and the justice that I serve is with violence, but it's just violence, if you will, okay? And then she goes and she has her Unsullied take all the masters that have enslaved and imprisoned people and murdered children, because remember last week we saw those children that were kind of hung up and crucified, if you will, along the path. It was like 639 children or souls, and then she repaid them by tying them up and crucifying them, if you will. And it was just crazy, man. Let's talk about oh yeah, duh. Let's talk about Jaime and Tyrion, real quick. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them, but Jaime and Tyrion, they share this moment inside of the cell. We know that Tyrion is locked up because Cersei thinks that, Tyrion murdered Joffrey, which is not true because we find out tonight the truth, and we'll get into that in a second. But it was kind of cool, man, because Tyrion brings up the, I guess you can say sensitive subject about Joffrey being Jaime's kid, and he was like, Joffrey says, or Jaime says something about Joffrey. Yeah, he says, well, you know, I think it was someone killed her son, and he was like, her son? And then Jaime was like, don't go there. Jaime doesn't want to free Tyrion because obviously, you know, Cersei's going to go crazy if he does that, but he did say that he doesn't believe that Tyrion killed Joffrey. He goes and talks to Jaime, or excuse me, Jaime goes and talks to Cersei, but Cersei doesn't believe anything that Jaime's saying, okay? She just doesn't trust him right now, all right? Now, moving on. Let's talk about Littlefinger, man. We know that Littlefinger has Lady Sansa, okay? And for me, I was like, yo, nothing better happen to her. Everything better work out perfectly. And we know that the reason why Littlefinger has Lady Sansa is because Littlefinger loves Lady Sansa, okay? So check this out. This is what was said. I'd risk everything to get what I want. And then Lady Sansa says, what do you want? What do you want? And then Littlefinger replies, everything. And he kind of looks at her, man, in this like creepy way. And then she kind of notices it too. And yeah, you know that the future is going to be kind of crazy, man. Right now, Littlefinger is taking Lady Sansa to Eyrie, where he's going to marry one of her aunts, or an aunt that he knows, something kind of crazy like that. But then he gave this, I guess you could say, speech or something like that, to where it kind of lets Lady Sansa know that, number one, yes, he was kind of responsible for King Joffrey's death, but he wasn't the one that killed King Joffrey. But he kind of says it in a confusing way, man. He says, Dantos gave you a necklace. Did you ever notice that there was a stone or two missing? And then she's like, that's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? And then he talks about, you know, I'd risk everything to get what I want. The one stone that was missing was used by Marjorie's grandmother to kill Joffrey. Okay, now check this out, man. This is where it gets kind of crazy, because I said last week, I said there was only 3 people that could have done it. Lady Sansa, because she grabbed the cup off the floor. Tyrion, because he was, you know, getting picked on by Joffrey. Marjorie, because, you know, she doesn't like that type of stuff. Or the grandmother. Those are the 4 people that I said. And I said the cup was closest to the grandmother, so therefore, obviously, she had to do it. That's what I said, and boom, dead on, man, okay? And the reason that we know that is because the grandmother's sitting there talking to Marjorie, and then she says, you didn't think I was going to let you marry that beast or that animal. And then Marjorie's like, well, what do you mean? And then the grandmother's like, you know, don't you worry about it. You know, don't think about that. Don't worry about that. And then she touches Marjorie's neck, and she has this necklace on. It looks like the same exact necklace that Lady Sansa had around her neck, and put 2 and 2 together after what she said also. And now we understand that Littlefinger and Marjorie's grandmother, whatever her name is, she's just an old lady, old queen type lady. They're working together, and that's a huge moment, man, inside of Game of Thrones, man. I'm absolutely loving it, man. Real quick, man, I spent about a minute on this. Jon Snow is running into issues with leaders of the Night Watch. Sir Alistair, in particular, just doesn't really like Jon Snow, or I think that he doesn't like him because of, you know, him breaking the rules, and also because he thinks that Jon Snow is kind of taking over, man. So he kind of wants to nip that in the butt, and he just doesn't want any problems or issues. He wants to be able to kind of run those guys. The guys respect and they like Jon Snow. They don't really respect Sir Alistair. So Alistair comes up with this plan to allow Jon to go to Craster's Keep, and I think he's setting him up, man. Here's the reason why. We get that, I guess you can say a new character, but it's not really a new character. The character's name is Locke, and Locke was the same dude that cut off Jaime's hand, okay? Yeah, obviously we're talking about Jaime, Joffrey's father, Cersei's lover, Cersei's brother. Don't go there. We're not going to talk about that. But yeah, we get him. He's inside of the Night's Watch now, and he introduces himself to Jon Snow. all of a sudden, man, they cut back over. They go and they talk to. They see that Cersei and Jaime, they're talking together, and this is where you could see that Cersei is still mourning the loss of Joffrey. Cersei is questioning Cersei is questioning Jaime's loyalty. Jaime told Cersei that she doesn't believe that Tyrion did it, but she is not listening. She says, if I asked you to go and find Lady Sansa and bring her back, would you do it? I don't believe that you would. And all she wants as of right now is just to protect Tommen, man, the new king. And she wants a guard on him day and night. She doesn't care about anything else, okay? All of a sudden, they cut back over to Tommen, who's asleep. And all of a sudden, you see Marjorie. She comes into the room where Tommen is in bed. And then you get introduced to Sir Pounce, which is the cat. Yeah, I know about the cat. I've heard about that before. And that's kind of cool. Sir Pounce is there. And Marjorie kind of tempts him, man. Gives him like this temptation type thing to where she's like seducing him. But she's not going the distance, I guess, because obviously he's so young. But she kind of planted that seed, man. It's crazy. And this is what she said at the end. She said, our little secret, don't tell your mom, don't tell Cersei, don't tell anybody, and we'll continue this. She said, if we're going to be married, we need to get to know each other, and we don't keep secrets, okay? But the only secret that we will keep is our little secret of us meeting. Then all of a sudden, man, we get to another one of my favorite characters, man, is Brienne of Tarth. And Jaime gives Brienne of Tarth new armor, a new sword, and he sends her to find Lady Sansa. And Lady does this, man, for Lady Catherine, and that's what she says. She says, I do it for Lady Catherine, and I do it for you. So I think there is something going on between, Jaime and Brienne of Tarth. I do believe that. And what was kind of dope, man, about this episode is that the episode is called Oathkeeper. Well, Jaime says to Brienne, Brienne of Tarth, she says, a sword always has a great name. A great sword always has a great name. So what are you going to name your sword? And then she replies back, she says, Oathkeeper. And that's the name of her sword, which is also the name of the episode. All right. Fast forwarding, man, Sam and Jon Snow, they start talking a little bit, and they start devising this plan about going to Craster's Keep. And we also know that, Sir Alliston allows that to happen. And the only way that it can happen, though, the only way that he'll allow Jon Snow to go to Craster's Keep is if Jon Snow can get volunteers. Sir Allister is not going to force anyone to go on this mission, this journey. So all of a sudden, man, Jon Snow gets in front of the Night's Watch, and he makes this speech, and then all of a sudden, 6 people stand up. The last person to stand up was Locke, the guy that cut off Jaime's hand. And it's just this look that he gave him, okay? His whole justification was, if you're going to go on this mission to kill people, you're going to need people who can actually fight. If you want to survive, you're going to need people who can actually fight. And that was his justification. And then Sir Allister gives the nod, but it was just this look, man, this kind of crazy look to where I think something's going on there, man. I don't trust that dude, man, okay? And it's going to be kind of crazy. They're heading over to Craster's Keep, man, to kill the mutineers. And it's going to take 60 miles to get there. And in between those 60 miles, I guess along the way, they're probably going to run into Mance Rayder and the group of, I guess, cannibals, man. And that's where it's going to get kind of crazy. We didn't see them in this episode, so I'm pretty sure they're coming next week. And here's the last thing we'll talk about, man. The dude from Dark Knight Rises, okay, who was inside of the room where Bane ripped that dude's face off. The dude that didn't get his face ripped off, but kind of sat there in the room, was kind of terrified. That dude is now on Game of Thrones. He plays this dude called Carl. He's like this badass of the realm. He's done everything. And now he's inside of the same area. And I guess kind of taken over the place where that one guy that has all those females and there's no males, and he kind of sacrifices the baby. He took over that realm, that area right there. And all of a sudden, man, Bran has this dream. They kind of switch over to Bran, and you hear Hodor. He kind of comes in the scene, and then Bran has this vision of the wolf, man, this wolf vision, and then he sees the wolf being captured. Well, the wolf turns out to be Ghost, And now they go and they catch up to where, you know, Bran seen the vision. Well, that vision leads him right into the path of Carl, who now has Bran, Hodor, and the rest of the gang captured, man, which is kind of crazy. Every single time, Bran always gets everybody captured. It really ticks me off sometimes, man. But all of a sudden, we hear the crying of this baby, and then we hear the girls start yelling, "A gift for God, a gift for the gods, a gift for the gods, a gift for the gods." And Carl takes Carl gets a guy to take the baby over to the out into the woods in the snow, and then all of a sudden you see the White Rider appear. They grab the baby, and then all of a sudden you see the baby vision. So now we get to see, like, from the baby's eyes, man, through their vision of the White Rider. So you see the baby kind of looking up towards the White Rider. You see the White Rider's chin, his hair. The White Rider looks down at the baby, and then he takes him to this location where you see this, like, kind of like sacrificial lamb type spot. He puts him on this little block of ice, and then all of a sudden he walks away, or you know, gets back on his horse. He goes away, and all of a sudden you see this creature looking dude come out. Almost looks like Thanos off of just like a blue Thanos off of the Avengers. And he picks up the baby, he touches the baby on the cheek, and then the baby's eyes turn into like ice, man. And that's it. The episode ends, and you're like, what? So yeah, that's it, man. It's just crazy. What I think that guy turns the babies into White Walkers, and the White Walkers are the babies all grown up. That's my kind of guess and my prediction, I guess you could say, for what's gonna happen. I don't know who that dude is. It scared me, man, because the baby's eyes just turn almost like when Loki turned Hawkeye into his little minion. That's what it looked like, man. It was just crazy like that. Once again, man, to wrap everything up, man, Khaleesi is now on a journey, man. She's on a mission. She's being able to oversee her realm, and it looks like that she's going to expand her her reach. She's going to be able to expand her reach across the entire realm, but there's going to be a storm ahead, so she has to be careful about that. The Unsullied Grey Worm is starting to have a relationship, and we can also see them freeing more slaves in the future. Lady Sansa is safe with Littlefinger. Littlefinger and Lady Sansa are heading to Eyrie. Jon Snow is on his way over to Craster's Keep. So you know, they're gonna end up running into Mance Rayder. Let me see what else, man. Jaime sent Brienne of Tarth on a mission to go find Lady Sansa. So I don't know how that's going to turn out when, you know, Littlefinger runs into Brienne of Tarth, and then Brienne of Tarth tries to save Lady Sansa. That's going to be crazy. And Cersei is still mourning Joffrey, and Cersei's trying to protect Tommen. Tommen is now aware of Marjorie, and I guess you can say there's a connection there, man. That's pretty much it. There's this new creature inside of the White Walkers that touches babies and they turn into ice. That's pretty much the sum of the whole entire episode. That's enough time. I'm out of here, guys. Let me know what you thought about the episode. Crazy. Just another great episode of Game of Thrones, man. We're out of here, guys. Once again, man, comment, click the like button, subscribe, and we really appreciate everything, guys. We're out of here. Thanks again. See you next week. Don't forget, every episode reviewed every single week right there.